I have a problem. I've got all of these campaign games that some of them I've started, some of them I haven't even started yet, and I have more on the way. So I have all this I want to start working to get through. This video is going to be a two-part video. The first part's going to be talking about some of these games, what I've done so far, or why I want to get into these games, what I enjoy about them, if I've started playing them. And then I'm going to also talk about the games that I've got coming in the second part of the video. Let's get right on in, and my plan for getting through this right now is just start whittling these down, start digging myself out of this by talking about these games. First I'm going to bring up is Core Quest, because this is one that's kind of on the edge of being counted for this video. It's a game that I play with my youngest daughter, and it's got some different scenarios in it, and so that's why I'm counting as part of this, even though it's a little bit more on the basic side and a little bit more almost one-offy. I'm going to go ahead and count this in this, though. These are campaigns and scenario-based games here. And so Core Quest, it's got, I think, 25 different scenarios in it, and we've played a couple of them, and that's about it. And so this is a game we need to get back to the table quite a bit more and go ahead and start playing this. It's a fun little dungeon crawler type game, very kid-friendly. And so that is the first one on the list, Core Quest. Getting that out of the way, and let's move on to some other games here. Here's one I haven't even started yet. It's called Legacy of You. It's a solo campaign game. And so this has got some worker placement to it. I don't know a whole lot about this game other than a lot of people have said they really enjoy Legacy of You. It looks great from what I've seen, but I don't know a whole lot about it, but I need to get in and start playing it. It's a solo-only game, so it's one of those I just basically have to set aside some time to play it by myself. Don't have to worry about others being in the mood to play it. I just need to start learning it and get into it. So that's Legacy of You. Next one I'm going to bring up here real quick. Actually, let's go ahead and do Lord of the Rings here. Journeys in Middle-earth. And this is a game that we played one time thus far, and it was a long time ago, and so we really just need to restart. My wife and I will probably go ahead and play through this one ourselves. It works best from what I hear anyway at 2 players. The more players, the harder it gets. We just need to get in there and start playing it. It's a very hard game from the first game that we played. But I enjoyed it. My wife really loves Lord of the Rings, and so all the more reason to get into this game and start playing it. Lord of the Rings has got a lot of content to it, and we have some extra content that we need to add into it. It's going to take us a while to get through all of this. It's one of those that we're going to probably work at, slowly chipping away through this campaign. Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle-earth. Let's get this one out of the way as well now. Moving on to our next one is going to be... Let's go ahead and hit City of Kings real quick. So City of Kings is a game by Frank West. We really enjoy Isle of Cats and Race to the Raft and the new one of Adoran Gardens. Well, it's not new, but new to us. We've enjoyed all those games. We've had City of Kings for a while. It's one of those we've only gotten to the table a few times. It's one of those that has a lot of setup. It's very involved. And so sometimes I don't really feel like it's worth the squeeze. The juice there is worth the squeeze just because there's so much that takes to getting this to the table and getting out. I do enjoy it when we play it. It's a very hard game from the times that we've played. And you got different scenarios that you are working your way through. And so it's one I haven't pushed the table very often just because sometimes I just don't feel like going through all the work it takes to get this game to the table, and oftentimes relearning by the time we get to it because it's been a while since the last time we played. I do enjoy it. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot to handle, and don't always get it to the table, but City of Kings, scenario-based game here. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up Vagrant Song now. This is one that we're playing with a friend of ours. My wife, my friend, and me are playing this game, and it's been a while since we played our last game of this. It's been kind of a slow goings here. Really enjoy it. You are basically trying to help these Haints resolve their unfinished business or get their humanity back so they can move on. And so you've got these, it's basically a boss battler, but instead of you actually killing the boss, you're basically trying to restore the boss's humanity. And you've got all these different types of bosses that you're going to be facing, different scenarios. Very interesting game. I've enjoyed it. It's just and the artwork is great. The acrylic standees, I just love those. Becoming more and more of a fan of that acrylic standee. It's a game I enjoy. Again, though, it's one of those that sometimes it takes a lot to get back into the game if you haven't played this one in a while, because there's just so much going on in the game. So every time we get back to the table, it's like we have to spend 30 minutes trying to relearn it a bit. And so that's a little bit of a distraction in getting it to the table. We really just need to probably go through it like week after week, or at least once a month or something like that, to stay ready to keep getting back into this game. But I've really enjoyed it. Really want to get back to the table sometime soon. It's Vagrant Song, and so lots of good stuff in this. I've also got the Kickstarter extras, the expansion coming next year, and so that's all the more reason to get this to the table so we can play through the base and then get into the expansion materials when that comes. Next one I'm going to bring up here is Betrayal Legacy. I'm going to put this up in front for a moment here. Betrayal Legacy is a legacy version of Betrayal House on the Hill, and you're basically just like every other legacy game. You're playing through storyline for storyline. You're changing things up as you go. My wife and I and my friend and his wife are playing through this game, but it's been a while since we've gotten this one to the table as well. It's just one of those that's kind of slidden off to the side, and so we really need to get this back to the table. We're probably about halfway through it at this point, and it's very similar to the base Betrayal Legacy game, as far as it's still got all the kind of crazy, kind of imbalanced, wacky kind of things going on. Don't take it too seriously type game. But there is a lot of added kind of things as you're going through a storyline. You're progressing, you're adding things, changing things up. That really kind of makes it kind of neat, stand out from the base Betrayal game there. So we just really need to work on getting this back to the table for the last about 6, maybe 7 scenarios we've got for this one. And so that's Betrayal Legacy. And here we have Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice. And this is one that my wife and I are playing through. We have played through several sequences. I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan from the video game series, and so to get this game was very exciting, and I've been enjoying it. You basically got that same kind of stealth feel as you're trying to get around the board and take out the bad guys without getting seen is the ideal situation there. Eventually, in most scenarios, you wind up getting seen, but you try and push that off as far as you can, because things really start to escalate. More bad guys come out. There's less that you can do when you are being searched for, and so there's a lot going on there. But I've been enjoying going through the different scenarios in the campaign here. It's just one of those that, again, it takes a lot to set up and get going. At least this one's a little bit easier to remember the things that are going on from game to game. And a lot of it's very intuitive. There's a few times we had to come back to it after a while and figure a few things out, but it's not been that bad to get into again and again. So we're enjoying this game. It's just we need to get it to the table. There's just so many games that I have, not just campaign scenario games, but just general multiplayer games and all that. Sometimes these games just don't see the table time that they need. So that is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice. Okay, we're working through things now. Let's bring this stack over. We've got Imperial Assault, Star Wars Imperial Assault. This is a game that I have not even started to play. There's skirmishes. There's also a campaign mode that I want to get into, and I believe it uses an app. Is app-based, and we started to get it opened up one time, and then we just decided we weren't ready to learn it at that moment. It was going to be a bit much for that day, and so we haven't really gotten a chance to get into this at all. It's one of those I'm looking forward to trying out, though. And then we got our Zombicides here. I've played through at least most of the scenarios of Black Plague, and so I don't have that one up here. Actually, I think I played all the Black Plague scenarios. There's just some additional scenarios I eventually want to get back into. And now this isn't a campaign game. Well, there's a campaign that goes along with Zombicide 2nd Edition, which I also have that Washington ZC. That I need to work through as well eventually. But right now we're working through the scenarios, or at least we were. It's been a while since we played 2nd Edition here. But I like to play the Zombicide where I start in the beginning. I just work my way through all the scenarios that are in the book. Eventually, if I have time, I'll get to some of the extra scenarios that Come On has on their website. But at first, I just want to focus on getting through the base scenarios they have in the game, as well as the campaign for Zombicide Washington ZC on the 2nd Edition here. And so it's just a matter of it's going to be taking it back to the table. But before I even wind up getting this back to the table, I think I'm going to, for a while here, be focused on Marvel Zombies. And this is the new one we just got the Kickstarter in, as well as I got X-Men Resistance from the store. I got a video up you can check out of my unboxing of all this material. This is just one of the boxes I have for this. We got the promo box, I got the X-Men Resistance box, I got a couple of the expansions, the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Fantastic Four. So I got a lot of material for Marvel Zombies, and there's two different modes to play through. There's the playing as zombies, as well as playing as, and you play as the zombie heroes. Heroes have been turned into zombies, as well as playing the hero mode, where you are the heroes going up against the zombies, and there's going to be zombie heroes coming in against you. Two different modes that are both going to be very enjoyable, I think, to play. Going to offer something different to the game, and so many scenarios are going to go on between all the material that I have for this. It's going to take some time to get through. Moving on again. Deliverance. This is one I was excited about. You're basically playing as angels of light going against the demons and trying to defeat them. And there's skirmishes as well as campaigns in this thing. I really want to get into the campaign, but it's one of those I haven't started yet, because there's just so much. As you see, I've got so many different campaign games that I'm focused on, needing to get done, that when I even open this up, I don't know yet. It's like, do I play through what I have elsewise, what I've already started, or do I play a little bit of this, a little bit of that? I'm not really sure when this is going to come to the table, but I'm looking forward to it. I need to get it to the table before more stuff starts coming in. But there are other things as well that that I need to get back to the table, get to finished off, and then I can put more attention maybe to Deliverance sometime a little bit into the future. But this is a game I'm looking forward to at some point delving into and playing. I really like the theme of the game. Looks great from what I've seen of the different pieces and all that. And so I'm just looking forward to this, eventually getting it to the table, as there's a lot here. And the last one I'm going to talk about today is Frosthaven / Gloomhaven / Crimson Scales. So we are almost done with Gloomhaven. We've played the base game of Gloomhaven. We played Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion all the way through. And we are working on Forgotten Circles, the expansion for Gloomhaven. After that, I plan on getting into Frosthaven. And my wife and I play usually as 2 different characters each. And so we'll play 4 characters. And we've worked through, like I said, almost all of Gloomhaven. And then we're starting to Frosthaven. And looking forward to that. And when that's all done, I have the fan-made expansion, Crimson Scales, which has a huge amount of content as well. Lots and lots to keep us busy just in the Frosthaven, Gloomhaven universe. And so this is one of my favorite games, at least Gloomhaven is. I'm anticipating Frosthaven being on that same level, maybe even higher than Gloomhaven. Really, really enjoy the gameplay of this game. It's basically a dungeon crawler where you're using cards as your abilities, that you are fighting against different bad guys, trying to accomplish different tasks. Some of it's just killing all the bad guys that are in there. Some of it's getting a certain thing, or do all kinds of different things you're accomplishing. And you've got cards that you're flipping over for instead of dice rolls to determine whether you are successful, or how much you're going to be able to do damage to people and all that kind of stuff. And so I really enjoy this series of games. Can't wait to get back to the table. It's been a while. We need to finish Gloomhaven Forgotten Circles, get into this. Really looking forward to it. So as you see, I've got lots of campaign materials all ready to work through. And in just a moment, I'm going to get back to you and start talking about the things that I have coming. The reason why I need to work through these things, because next year I have several that I've already backed on Kickstarter waiting to come in. And so in just a minute, I'm going to get back with you and talk to you about those. Okay, now let's get into the second part of the video, which is talking about the campaign and scenario-based games that will be coming in the future that I've backed on Kickstarter and Gamefound. And the first one I'm going to talk about here is Zombicide White Death. This is one that I almost didn't back. And it does go along with the Black Plague, which is one reason that I backed it. But the big one that pulled me in, because I was thinking I had enough Zombicide, didn't necessarily need to get more. But then they had an expansion that they released as part of this, which is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Zombicide Time Crash expansion. And I've been wanting to get some of the Turtles that they've had in the past. haven't managed to get a hold of them. And then this system coming out with them, I'm like, this is great. I want to get these to play as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Zombicide. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it does combine with my Black Plague stuff. And so I was able to rationalize it a little bit there. And so I've got this coming in. It's going to be scenario based and going to have a bunch of extra stuff going on to add into what I already have. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on in a year or so when this comes in. And so more Zombicide coming in. The next one is one that I have looked at on my channel. You can go and look at some gameplay playthrough that I have. I have two playthroughs, Mission 1 and Mission 3. I played the first three missions and I redid first and third mission so I could do the playthrough there. I didn't go on beyond that because there was a temptation because the next level looked really interesting, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to get this game in anyway, and I'm just going to have to restart the campaign, so I held off on that. But Rogue Angels, I really enjoyed. It's got a 1,000-page campaign, 16 heroes, lots of great stuff. I enjoyed it. The games that my wife and I played just to try it out and to do the preview video and the playthroughs, and so I'm really looking forward to this game. It's got a sci-fi theme to it. It's got kind of a Mass Effect feel to it, and so really looking forward to getting this game and playing it in full. Enjoyed previewing it. You can check out those videos on my channel. It's going to have a huge campaign to go through, so I need to get through some of the stuff that I already have so that I can put my full attention to this when it comes in. The next one here is Storyberg, an adventure story deck building game. I enjoy deck builder games, and this is going to be kind of a kid kind of feel to it. It's got kind of a childish kind of art here, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I enjoy deck builders. It's got a co-op and solo campaign. It's got, I think it's a 73-page campaign book. There it is, 73-page campaign storybook. It's got an interesting theme to it, and like I said, I enjoy deck builders, and so this is one that I decided I wanted to back. I know 3 out of the 4 characters in here. You've got Alice in Wonderland, you've got Peter Pan, you've got Dorothy Gale from The Wizard of Oz, and then you've got one that I don't know is Little Nemo. The only Nemos that I know are Finding Nemo, the fish there, and of course Captain Nemo. I never really heard of this Little Nemo guy. This is something with dreams, but I know the other 3, and so it's a good one to get there because I'm familiar with the theme, enjoy deck building games, and it's got a nice looking campaign to it, and so looking forward to this game when it comes out. Lots of good stuff looking forward to in that. And then we got Dragon Eclipse is the last one. This was on Gamefound by Awaken Realms. And so it's kind of got a Pokemon type feel, but with a fantasy theme. And it's got a 12 scenario campaign to it. And then there's just lots of cool miniatures. Can't remember if I got the miniature version or if I got the acrylic standee, but either way, it's got lots of good looking. You see here, you got the acrylic standees here look good, as well as the miniatures. Both look really great. And so either way, it's going to be a good looking thing. It's got a bunch of extra cards and stuff for different characters that are available through the Gamefound version for free or became part of the campaign there. And so there's just a lot going on to this. Looking forward to playing this campaign. It looks great. Great looking cards. I mean, the artwork just is amazing. And so looking forward to Dragon Eclipse. So these are the games that I have coming in. Of course, there's a lot of games that I already have on my list to play that I already own that I need to get through to try and get at least some of those campaigns knocked out. And so I'm going to be focusing a lot in 2024 on playing the campaigns that I already have so that I can get through those and be ready for these new campaigns to come in. There's only 4 new ones coming in, but I have a lot to work through that I already have. And so let me know in the description below what kind of campaigns are you working through right now or looking forward to get. And let me know some of your favorite campaigns that you've played over the years. I encourage you to check out some of my videos here. I have a video of a campaign that we recently completed, The Adventures of Robin Hood, as well as you can look at some of my videos about Rogue Angels. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.